Greetings and peace, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, I would like to do a presentation on the Eastern origins and the influence of the East on Neoplatonism, specifically its branch of Theurgy and philosophy. Now, many people in the Western esoteric circles, whether it's Masonry or whatever have you, a lot of these people, the speakers and the panels and all of that in between, never give the East any credit. It's not about what is older or what is newer, right? It's not about that. It's about giving due respect to all sides. And of course, there is that aspect of racism and white supremacy that is there. So again, without further ado, I represent myself only, and I hope you enjoy the presentation. As we look at the unveiling of these Eastern origins, we see that Western esoteric traditions encompassing ceremonial magic, theurgy, and mystical philosophies are often perceived as uniquely European innovations. However, a deeper exploration reveals that many foundational concepts and practices within these traditions have profound roots in Eastern philosophies and spiritual systems. This presentation aims to illuminate these connections, challenging the narrative of Western esoteric supremacy and highlighting the rich tapestry of intercultural exchange that has shaped spiritual thought across civilizations. Now we look at the concept of the One, which in the Neoplatonic idea of the One as the ultimate ineffable source of all existence finds parallels in Eastern philosophies. In Advaita Vedanta, Brahman is the singular God, unchanging reality behind the multiplicity of the world. Similarly, in Taoism, the Tao is the fundamental principle that underlines and unites all things. These concepts underscore a shared metaphysical understanding across cultures of a singular origin from which all emanates. Looking at emanation, Neoplatonism describes a process of emanation where all levels of reality flow from the One. This mirrors the Samkhya philosophy in India, which outlines a progression from Purusha, consciousness, and Prakriti, which is matter, into the manifold aspects of the universe. Both systems depict a cosmology where the multiplicity of existence unfolds from a singular, unified source. Now, if we look at the soul's ascent, we see the journey of the soul ascending back to its divine origin as a theme prevalent in both Western and Eastern traditions. In Neoplatonism, the soul seeks to return to the One through contemplation and purification. Similarly, in Buddhism, the path to enlightenment involves transcending the cycle of rebirth to achieve nirvana. These narratives reflect a shared human aspiration for spiritual reunification with the ultimate reality. Now, looking at the ritual practices, we see that the theurgical practices in Neoplatonism, aimed at invoking the divine through rituals, have counterparts in Eastern traditions. In Hinduism, elaborate rituals, the puja, are performed to connect with deities, while in Tibetan Buddhism, intricate ceremonies and visualizations are used to engage with enlightened beings. These practices demonstrate a common belief in the power of ritual to facilitate communion with the divine. If we look at symbols and language, we see that mystical traditions often employ symbolic language to express transcendent truths. Neoplatonic texts use metaphors and allegories to describe spiritual realities, akin to the use of koans in Zen Buddhism or the rich symbolism in Sufi poetry. These linguistic tools serve to transcend ordinary understanding and point towards a deeper spiritual insight. In the end, it comes down to the ethics, that ethical living is emphasized as essential for spiritual progress in both Neoplatonism and Eastern philosophies. The cultivation of virtues such as compassion, self-control, and truthfulness is seen as purifying the soul, preparing it for higher spiritual experiences. This shared emphasis underscores the integral role of ethics in the pursuit of the divine. As, of course, the path always leads to the inner temple. And meditative and contemplative practices are central to spiritual development across these traditions. Neoplatonists advocate for inward contemplation to connect with the One, paralleling practices like Dhanya in Hinduism and mindfulness in Buddhism. These disciplines aim to quiet the mind and open the practitioner to deeper spiritual realities. Preserving the wisdom and the transmission of esoteric knowledge through the teacher-student lineages is a common feature in both Western and Eastern traditions. Neoplatonic schools and Eastern spiritual paths alike emphasize the importance of guidance from enlightened teachers to navigate the complexities of the spiritual journey. Now, spirituality and society are both interwoven realities. Spiritual philosophies have historically influenced societal structures and cultural expressions. Neoplatonic thought impacted Renaissance art and philosophy, while Eastern spiritual concepts have shaped social norms, arts, and sciences in their respective cultures. This integration highlights the pervasive influence of spiritual ideas on broader societal development. Now, the modern spiritual movements often draw upon ancient esoteric traditions. The resurgence of interest in meditation, yoga, and mystical philosophies reflects a continued relevance of these ancient teachings. This revival indicates a global recognition of the value embedded in these time-honored spiritual practices. If you look at esoteric history, acknowledging the Eastern contributions to Western esoteric traditions invites a more nuanced understanding of how spiritual history really went. It challenges Eurocentric narratives and honors the interconnectedness of human spiritual endeavor. Embracing the shared heritage fosters a more inclusive and comprehensive appreciation of the world's esoteric wisdom. And as you've seen even in this presentation, I give an equal respect to both sides, even though the Samkhya philosophy and teachings of Hinduism, the oldest religion in the world of the East, predates Neoplatonic thoughts and philosophies, but that wasn't the point of this presentation. This is to teach those in the West that you must give equal respect to all sides. Looking beyond Neoplatonism, we must realize the deeper roots. The claim that Neoplatonism is the common origin of both Western ceremonial practices and Sufism overlooks the deeper, more ancient roots shared across cultures. While Neoplatonism has undoubtedly influenced various traditions, its core concepts, such as the notion of a singular source, the process of emanation, and the soul's return, are present in earlier Eastern philosophies. Recognizing these antecedents is not about asserting superiority, but about acknowledging the rich, interconnected tapestry of human spiritual thought. Dismissing this interconnectedness in favor of a singular origin narrative simplifies and distorts the complex evolution of esoteric traditions. And that was the point of this presentation, to all of the people in the West who claim to be high, mighty, and intelligent and spiritual. You gotta get that bias of white supremacy out of you. It's not always about the Greeks or the Romans. We're all interconnected as a human species. And this was the point of this presentation, to give equal respect to all sides. Here is the recommended reading and further sources that I recommend you all look into. And as you see the dates on a lot of these publications, it predates a lot of the so-called Masonic authors that are out there on the scene, pretending that they know stuff when they actually don't know nothing. Thank you for watching. If any questions or comments, please email me at sulmansheikh911@gmail.com. All images used were retrieved from public domain searches and are the rightful property of their respective owners. The images and information used in this video is for the purpose of nonprofit awareness and education, which is protected by the copyright laws of fair use, and all my videos are for nonprofit and education purposes. Thank you. All rights reserved.